Imagine living in a world where there are no police, no courts, no prisons, and no way to simply move to another city. Your entire world consists of maybe 30 or 40 people. You see the same faces every day. You hunt together, eat together, sleep near each other, and one of those people drives you absolutely crazy. Maybe they're selfish, maybe they're violent, maybe they're constantly causing trouble. So, what did ancient humans do when they hated someone? Most people imagine endless fights and bloody revenge, but the archaeological and anthropological evidence tells a much stranger story. In many cases, ancient humans developed surprisingly sophisticated ways of dealing with difficult people long before laws or governments existed. One of the harshest punishments wasn't death, it was exclusion. For ancient hunter-gatherers, survival depended entirely on the group. A single person alone faced enormous dangers. Finding food became harder. Protection disappeared. Injuries became much more dangerous. Even finding a future mate became difficult. Anthropologists believe that being pushed out of a group may have been one of the most feared punishments in human history. Imagine knowing that everyone around you has decided they no longer want you there. In many situations, exile was a sentence that could dramatically reduce your chances of survival, but groups didn't always remove people immediately. Often they used a much quieter method. They simply stopped engaging with them. Modern hunter-gatherer societies sometimes deal with conflict through avoidance rather than direct confrontation. People stop sitting together, stop sharing stories, stop interacting unless necessary. The disliked individual slowly becomes socially invisible. This wasn't just emotional punishment. Humans evolved to depend on social connection. Being ignored by your entire community could be psychologically devastating. Long before phones existed, ancient humans may have experienced something surprisingly similar to being ghosted. Another powerful weapon was gossip. Today, gossip often has a negative reputation, but many researchers believe it played a crucial role in ancient societies. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm argues that gossip helped communities control selfish or dangerous individuals. If someone repeatedly broke group expectations, stories spread. People talked. Reputations formed. Eventually, everyone knew who could and couldn't be trusted. In a small group, reputation was everything. There were no official records and no legal systems. What people said about you determined how others treated you. A damaged reputation could make life extremely difficult. Sometimes the response was even more surprising. Instead of confronting a difficult person, entire groups simply left. Anthropologists studying modern foraging societies have documented cases where families quietly relocated to avoid conflict. Imagine waking up and realizing most of the people you know have decided they'd rather move somewhere else than continue dealing with you. This may sound extreme, but moving a camp was often easier than maintaining constant social tension. In some cases, ancient humans solved hatred not by fighting, but by creating distance. Not all punishments were serious. Some involved ridicule. Many hunter-gatherer societies use humor as a way to control behavior. Successful hunters who become arrogant may find themselves mocked by everyone around them. Their achievements are minimized. Their confidence becomes the target of jokes. Researchers call this a leveling mechanism. The goal isn't cruelty, it's preventing any individual from becoming too powerful or self-important. Thousands of years before social media, people were already using public embarrassment to keep egos under control. Food sharing could also become a source of social pressure. Ancient humans depended heavily on cooperation. A successful hunt was often shared among the entire group, but these systems depended on trust and reciprocity. Someone known for selfish behavior might discover that others become less eager to help when times get tough. Nobody needed to announce a punishment. People simply became less generous. In a world where survival depended on cooperation, losing access to support networks could be devastating. Archaeology also provides evidence that not every conflict remained peaceful. Researchers occasionally discover skeletons showing healed injuries to the skull and face. These wounds suggest violent encounters that occurred long before death. Some may have resulted from accidents, others may reflect personal conflicts. In certain cases, individuals appear to have survived multiple injuries over many years. Ancient grudges may have left permanent marks on the human skeleton. The evidence reminds us that while many conflicts were managed socially, violence was never completely absent. Yet one of the most fascinating discoveries is that ancient groups often work together to prevent difficult individuals from gaining too much power. Evolutionary researchers believe humans developed unique social mechanisms specifically to stop bullies, tyrants, and aggressive personalities from dominating everyone else. Unlike many animal species, humans frequently form coalitions. If one person became too threatening, others could cooperate against them. This may have helped shape human societies for hundreds of thousands of years. The group was often stronger than the individual. Some researchers even believe negative emotions played an important role in human evolution. Feelings like anger, resentment, and dislike may have helped identify people who violated social norms. These emotions encouraged communities to notice harmful behavior and respond to it. In this sense, hatred wasn't always destructive. It could serve as a warning system, a way of identifying individuals whose actions threatened the survival of the group. Perhaps the strangest part is how familiar all of this sounds. Ancient humans didn't have governments, prisons, or legal systems. Yet they still used reputation, social pressure, exclusion, ridicule, cooperation, and collective action to deal with difficult people. The tools were different, but the underlying problems were remarkably similar to our own. So how did ancient humans deal with someone they hated? Sometimes they ignored them. Sometimes they mocked them. Sometimes they damaged their reputation. Sometimes they moved away. Sometimes they fought. And occasionally they removed them from the group entirely. But most of the time, the solution wasn't violence. It was social pressure.